coming right there.
Hey guys, welcome here to our Tactical Tuesday live stream. This is the part where I ask you guys if you can hear me okay. I'm a little tired. I literally just got back from France today, like today, and got a little bit of sleep. Not enough. There's a 7, 8, 9 hour time change. No big deal. But anyways, I'm glad to be hanging out with you guys. So let me know if you guys can hear me okay. If it's too loud or too low, you guys let me know. Hey, we got our sponsor again tonight, Venture Surplus. I want to thank them for sponsoring our live streams. Right, they've been doing it 3-4 months running now. Right, their motto is Venture Surplus brings the Army surplus store to your door. So you don't have to go out to Fort Bragg and hit all the pawn shops out in front of the main base. You can actually go online, get the same Army surplus stuff, Marine surplus stuff. And anyways, they free returns, free shipping. Anyways, good stuff. Good stuff indeed. You check them out at venturesurplus.com. All right, so I know a lot of you guys are asking, hey, tell us about the trip, number one, or you're like, car went on a trip. Either you know or you don't know. We about four years ago, I was out doing something and I met this Command Sergeant Major Rick Lamb that I hadn't seen in forever. Nice guy, right? And he shows me a picture of him with his son. It's actually a picture of a World War II airplane. And there's a guy in World War II uniform parachuting out of it. And he says, you see that? That's me. And I'm getting ready to say that's gay. But he says the guy in the doorway, that's my son. We jumped at the 75th anniversary of D-Day. And it was an awesome bonding experience for me and my son. And you guys have heard me say it before, right? That, of all the screwed up things I've done in my life, I only have one regret. And that regret is that when the towers fell, all my deployments were back to back to back to back. I basically missed 10 years of my son growing up. So whenever I can find time to bond with my son, I always jump at that chance. So anyways, I mentioned it to him, hey, so Major Rick Lamb went and did this with his son. The 80th anniversary is supposed to be the next big party. His eyes lit up. All right, okay, fast forward. Hey, Rick, how'd you do this with your son? So anyways, I brought my son down to Round Canopy Parachuting Team USA.org, their website, Palatka, Florida. And you don't have to be airborne. You don't have to have ever been in the military. It is a great place for, especially if your head's not where it needs to be, because it doesn't matter what kind of problems you have in your life. You get in the doorway of that airplane, you understand you're about to get hit in the face with a planet, and you're not high enough to forget how high you are. And anyways, it's a good time. It's a real good time. So signed my son up for airborne school. That was 3-4 years ago now, and we have been building up to the 80th anniversary of D-Day, 6 June 2024. That was this past week, guys. So anyways, me and Nicholas and Emery, we packed up and we went over to Normandy, France, along with Kyle Lamb, along with Alan West, the congressman, who's the SEAL congressman. Anyways, you guys know who I'm talking about. And about 1,300 other people. And we get over there, and the guys are there from the Ranger Battalions and 82nd Airborne and 173rd Airborne out of Vicenza, Italy. There's all these other active duty airborne units there. Everybody is there for the 80th anniversary of D-Day. And it wasn't just paratroopers. Remember, the majority of the forces hit the beach. All right, Rangers and everything. So everywhere we went, there were Willys Jeeps, there were Dodge Power Wagons, there were Deuce and a Half trucks, there were people dressed in World War II uniforms, what do they call them, the M42s, the wool uniforms with the and all the women are dressed in the old French uniforms from the 1940s. But the funny part was most of the people dressed as GIs actually spoke French. They weren't Americans, but there were a lot of Americans that came over there to go do reenactments, landing on the beaches and everything. Obviously, us going over to go parachute. And it was crazy, guys. It really, really was. It was crazy. As soon as we got there, we spent a couple days in France. I posted a couple videos on Instagram when me and Emery went and did a tour of the Louvre. Actually, I posted about 10 videos. My wife made me take 7 or 8 of them down because she said they were too rude or we used too much profanity. But in her defense, she was right. We shouldn't have been making fun of the French that much. Can't spell France without gay. Anyways, it is what it is. There's no big deal. No big deal. But anyways, spent a couple days in Paris, sightseeing, everything. But then we went out, and you guys know I just had a knee replacement. Shh, don't tell my ortho surgeon that I was parachuting. But I actually only jumped once. We jumped on the 7th, which was my father-in-law's birthday. He would have been 80 years old on the 7th. He was born the day after D-Day. So actual D-Day, big ceremonies and everything down on the beaches. And all the roads are closed down because Biden was there and Macron and Zelensky and all these other world leaders were there. So we didn't even try. We went and saw the beaches. We went to Pointe du Hoc. We went to the Normandy Freedom Museum. We went to all these other. We saw the sites, but we did them on different days. So what do you do what do you actually do on D-Day? Well, you celebrate with everybody, and we partied hard that night. Ooh. But at St. Mary en Glisse, which is where that was the town. If you've seen the movie Band of Brothers with the 101st, big battle went on there. That's kind of like Mecca for the 101st Airborne. St. Mary en Glisse. There's a nice little town square right in the middle. They've still got the church with the parachute with the paratrooper hanging off of it, and a couple bars, bunch of good restaurants, and now packed 10,000 tourists in there, and it was always a party every night. Great time indeed. We went down, we drove down the Mount Saint Michel, which it's a castle, guys, up on this rock. And the cool part about it, I think the Vikings actually built it, and then they turned it over to the French, and they eventually built a abbey on the top of a big monastery, basically. But it's when the tide is in, you can't get to this island. So it would be very, very hard for a old medieval army to put a siege on this place because you couldn't build up your defenses and everything because the water would come in and wash your shit away. Fast forward, beautiful, beautiful place, and seeing everything, just great. Food there was awesome. But as we're walking back to the cars, it's like a couple mile walk back to where we had parked. And there's a couple skydivers jumping, and where they're jumping, I was like, Nicholas, Emery, and Jen, we had Jen Davis with us. I'm like, see those parachutes come down, that's where we're jumping tomorrow. So fast forward to the next morning, and I've got a bunch of scared jumpers. My niece, Ashley Duenas, David Duenas, her dad, one of our patrons. Ashley's a patron also. And wanted Leaf LeBlanc to be there, but he decided he'd break his neck to get out of jumping. The shit people will do to get out of jumping. Anyways, Ashley's scared to death. My son's a little anxious. So I sat him down. I'm like, look, biggest thing is you've got to land facing into the wind. And right now the winds are coming directly from the castle. You come out of the plane, face the castle, and you'll be facing into the wind. You'll check where you're drifting on the ground. Look down if you're going a little bit left, a little bit right. You might have to adjust your wind pattern a little bit. But for the most part, line up on the castle. And that's going to give you the beautiful view of this castle from above. Because you understand, nobody has gotten to do that since 80 years ago when you know, the Pathfinders were the first ones going in, and I want to say 17 out of 17 out of however many of them lived, and the rest all died. Like 17% of the unit lived. They had a very, very high attrition rate. But you figure these pilots bringing these people in, they're lining off of landmarks like Mount Saint Michel. So, anyways, we had a great jump. We had a great jump. There's a lot of sheep on the ground, and Ashley's worried about, you know, if I hit a sheep. I'm like, Ashley, aim for the sheep. Hit a sheep. Aim for it. And the reason why I tell her that is because if you try to avoid a tree, but you're looking at the tree, you're always going to hit the tree. You look at what you don't want to hit. That's how car wrecks happen. And I've seen her fly a parachute, which she can't fly a parachute to save her life. So I'm like, Ashley, if there's a sheep there, aim for the sheep. I guarantee you won't hit it. I guarantee you won't hit it. She didn't hit the sheep, by the way. But anyways, we had a great jump. And I know you guys want pictures and stuff. Emery actually put you guys together. He wore a 360 helmet, a mounted camera. And I didn't. I don't like having a camera around me. You guys know how I am like that. So anyways, if you guys don't mind, I would like to play. This is it's amateur footage that Emery put together like that very night while we were drinking back in our Airbnb. So here, let me see if I can get this to play for you guys. All right, so that is Mount Saint Michel, guys. Gorgeous. This is us out there. That's Ashley, scared to death. Right, she's talking to Emery. Yeah, I'm gonna hit that sheep.
Because my track record is shit.
It's good.
Poor Ashley. Ashley's good people. We're lined up, guys. We're waiting for one more plane to show up, and we're gonna have us a good time. We're gonna have us a great jump.
Fucking awesome jump.
That is Caslin. He is our. He was my safety. That's David Duenas. There's my cute little man, Nicholas. Notice all these guys are rocking GoPros on their helmets. I didn't wear one on my helmet because, well, you look gay wearing a helmet camera like that. So anyways, it's just, it is what it is. David, Ashley, proud to have him out there. Guys, we started with 22 of these airplanes. A lot of them broke down flying over from the States. They were waiting motors and everything else. But for this particular day, we had 4 of them. We flew on one called Pegasus. It is right now the 3rd one in line, but once we got up into the air, the lead aircraft was going to drop back to position 3, and that put us as the 2nd aircraft going out. My safety's checking everybody's static lines, checking everybody's stuff. Emery goes up into the plane. There's the 2nd pass already sitting down, and
Watch your ripcord grips, get see.
We got a full plane, people. We've really got a full plane. There's no seats, there's no nothing. Get ready to take off. There wasn't even room for Nicholas to sit in his own stick, so me and Nick had to sit in the middle. 30 seconds. Now I'm looking for the spot, and I'm gonna say follow me. We're good. I just gave standby. Follow me, and out I go. There goes Nicholas, there goes Emery. Guys, is that not beautiful? Emery had a couple of twists, not bad. But Emery lost his glasses. Emery's sunglasses flew off his melon. You see that black dot out there? That is Mount Saint Michel. And it's low tide right now, so you can see the beaches and everything, the sand that comes up around it. Now, Emery's filming this with what's called a 360 camera mounted on his helmet. So everything's a lot closer. Obviously, we're not up high enough for you to see the curvature of the earth. But if you look right down below Emery where that shadow of the airplane just went by, you're going to see sheep. See him between his feet? See those sheep down there? Those sheep were like, oh snap, here comes some more. So... we have a great, great time. Try not to spoil Emery's narration for you. Emery's pointing his feet right at the castle because that's where the winds were coming from. Booyah, Grandma.
Oh my God, that's the softest landing I've had in my life. Holy shit.
Funny stuff, right? Nothing hard, nothing
I could've
crazy,
stood that
no
shit up.
German soldiers shooting at you. And
Fuck yeah!
you did have to look out for other parachutes coming down. We
That
had
is the
two
softest landing
reserve
I've
parachute
ever had in my
deployments
life.
on
Look
our
at this.
pass. Two
at
guys
this shit.
collided, and one of them panicked. And once they got separated, the other guy had stolen his air, and he pulled his reserve.
Just landed. Just landed. Look at this. Look at where we land. This is unreal. This is unbelievable. Look at this.
Emery had a good jump.
Ain't
that an ugly mug?
It was
I'm very
just
proud of Emery being part of our team, guys.
glorious.
He's good people.
Glorious. Haven't located Carl yet. That was the softest landing I've ever had in my life.
So anyways, we
Saint Michel. That's the Abbey. We were there yesterday.
we walked back in, and there are hundreds of paratroopers here. A few family members. Jordan Carlson, that's the guy up front there. He is from Round Canopy Parachute Team France. He's the guy that put together this jump. There's John Hotstetler giving you guys a thumbs up. I went through airborne school with him. Started the medic course with him. I am actually down by the blue stars of the flag, guys, if you're looking for me in the picture. The guy behind me is one of the most famous CIA operatives from Afghanistan. It's a great time, guys. We had a really good jump. A lot of great partying afterwards. Jordan Carlson, one of our patrons, was there with his family. He just got out of the Air Force. He had his wife and kids. Fred and Maria were there, more patrons. I mentioned Kyle Lamb was there. I didn't recognize him because he shaved his goatee and beard and his mustache off. Yeah, funny stuff indeed. So anyways, I'm showing you that footage because one, I want you guys, right? It's better than me trying to hold up pictures on my phone and all. But anyways, I figured you guys would get a kick out of it. I did. I figured you'd get a kick out of it. Yes, it was a great time. So, an actual video, right? That way I can write the whole thing off, right? Yeah, of course. No, the main reason for doing this was for me to be able to hang out with my son, right? My son, my wife, the rest of my family and everything. I brought my niece, her husband, a bunch of other people, and we had a great time. We are going to put together a Friday YouTube video. It'll be on our other channel, Tactical Rifleman, because they're encouraging everybody to document this, right? And one thing I will say is, I'm not big in the whole playing dress up thing and everything. It was a requirement if you're going to jump there to wear the World War II uniform. And I'm very glad that we did, because the camaraderie of being there and everything, and going that night, right after that jump, we went back to the town, St. Mary-Glise, where, the 101st had fought that big battle. And there's probably, not exaggerating, 5,000 to 10,000 people there. Most of them French, obviously, a lot of Americans, active duty guys. But I had my World War II uniform. I actually had that big ass Phobos boot knife, the Tr1 BC. That's what I wore strapped to my right calf in case I had to cut away a toe jumper. Well, I should have took it off before I walked into town. Nah, I don't care. Right, what are they going to do? Make me take it off, take it away from me? Right, so anyways, I'm walking around with this big ass fixed blade knife strapped to my calf, but I'm in my World War II uniform. But I put on my Jumpmaster hat, my black hat, because I wear that in the morning, so when people need to find a Jumpmaster, it's easy for them to find a Jumpmasters. But all night long while we were drinking, I had all these guys, the Swedish guys and the Brits and the Dutch and the guys from like 5-6 different countries. They're all coming up in the Jumpmaster today, blah, blah, blah. Cause they all the jumpers went out there to party that night. And being able to hang out, and I know Karen is gonna wish that she was there, and I'm here to tell you, Karen, we were all wishing you and Toby were there, but I had Fred and Maria. They actually went and reserved us a spot for dinner, and we go into the restaurant, and I roll in with my 8 people. I brought 7 with me, and then Jen Davis is a girl that just retired from U.S. SOCOM down in Tampa, and cute little blonde girl. And it was her and Emery are friends. So anyway, she hung out with us a lot. She's a great person. You guys would love Jen. Maybe we'll get her on a video sometime. And then so when we did dinner, food in France. Don't ever get a burger in France because they do their burgers medium rare. You know, everybody knows you're supposed to cook hamburger, right? No, they don't do that in France. The steaks were actually good. The fish and chips were good. It's not a single Mexican restaurant in the entire country. Not a single. You know why? They swim the Rio Grande. You can't swim that Atlantic Ocean. There are no Mexicans in France. There's not a single Mexican in France. There's plenty of other food to eat. Coffee was good. Coffee was not as good as this coffee. This coffee's good, guys. This coffee's good. It's the froth Italian sweet cream that really does it, but that's good coffee. You guys know the deal. Started off with 8 shots of espresso. That was one thing I did like everywhere in France. They drink European coffee there, so no matter where you were, you could ask for a double espresso, and they would just that little cup would be right in your face. So they don't do cream over there, but I don't know how many shots of espresso I had. I had enough. I definitely had enough shots of espresso. We had a great time. Anyways, you guys know the deal. If you've got questions and stuff, I saw I had a super chat come in from Lef LeBlanc. I've not even checked my phone yet to see if one came in. All right, who is this here? I don't know. All right, this is today. Hey, welcome back. Can you confirm if Wildflower has been unblocked yet? Yes, I believe Wildflower has been unblocked. Blah 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 blah. I believe Wildflower has been unblocked. For those of you that are bitching. All right, I got one here. Came in early from Leaf LeBlanc. Glad to hear you had a successful jump. Wish I could have been there next year. Rangers lead the way, brother. Yeah, and they go every year, guys. But understand the biggest party was the 75th anniversary 5 years ago because there was a lot of World War II vets there. This year, the 80th, they had 1/10 the number of World War II vets that they had 5 years ago. And that's because these guys are dropping like flies. I only saw a few World War II vets there. I did not see very many of them at all. We had one guy, they did a tandem. They brought him in at St. Mary Glees there. And anyways. Leaf, yeah, we missed you, buddy. We did. They actually did a cross-channel jump. They actually went and jumped into London for an air show, and then they jumped back. There was a couple other jumps that were scratched for different reasons. They crashed a Spitfire plane, and in London, the military shut down all the airspace. All right. Then the 9th, which was, I don't even know what day it is. Day before yesterday. I flew yesterday. I flew today. Anyways, the final day, I went out and helped JMPI get everybody ready. My knee's feeling fine, guys, for those of you that are asking. I appreciate it. My knee's doing great. So I'm out helping everything. Did some interviews for our video, right? I got the mics that I can clip on to people and everything. And so I went out there. we decided to go to St. Mary and Glees to watch the drops because that's where the big final drop was going to be. You couldn't get within miles of it. There had to be 100,000 people there. And understand this is a little bitty town, and all these roads were made when people were pulling carts with horses, and there were knights wearing armor on horseback. That's when these roads were laid out. They haven't made them any bigger. They've added more big highways, and their highway system is state of the art. But all the small roads they're not just hundreds of years old, guy. They're thousands of years old, these roads. And you're always having to pull over to let other people go by and everything. Anyways, there's no way to get to St. Mary and Glees. Well, we couldn't even get back to our villa. We couldn't get back to it because we had to go past St. Mary and Glees. So we're trying to box our way around and ended up popping out on a bridge near St. Mary and Glees just as the C-47s, the guys that I just inspected their parachutes and everything, 4 planes coming in, and they start dropping paratroopers, and all the cars on the highway, everybody just hit the brakes, stopped, and they all get out of their cars and just start filming. And so anyways, we got to watch that. That was great. And I actually put that clip up on Instagram yesterday, I want to say. And then so we start heading back. Well, we get back to our villa and get everybody. Well, we're going to go do dinner, or more like lunch, in our villa. So we're walking through this little town. And guys, these little French towns are right out of a King Arthur movie. They really are. And all of a sudden, this French C-130 flies over. And they've painted the white rings on it like the planes had in World War II. All right, for the 80th anniversary. And then the next plane, we're like, how many planes are there? There's no joke. I'm not exaggerating. There had to be at least 30 planes. I'm not exaggerating. 30 planes in a row. And they all went by. And the doors are open on both sides. They've got the wind blades out to block the wind. And so they're ready to send paratroopers out both doors. Well, we heard they dumped Big Army and all these other active duty units did this big mass tactical drop. We heard that the American Rangers missed their drop zone by 5 miles. But anyways, it was such a shit show. That's a medical term for it, by the way. It was so messed up that, and the people are landing, and then they're making them road march to the Iron Mike statue. But that was planned. You were supposed to have to road march to Iron Mike. Okay. But they end up canceling the last lift for Ron Canopy parachute team, the C-47 airplanes, a World War II guy. They canceled the last lift. So where they had buses coordinated to bring everybody back to where their cars were parked from St. Mary and Glees, there was no transport planned for at the airfield for the jumpers that didn't get to jump. So there's a lot of guys. They had people spread out everywhere. I'm glad we didn't. We stayed in. We partied. We had David Duenas and his family come over to our villa, and we had a great time. I cannot say it enough, guys. It was a great time. Really was a great time. One of my only regrets was we missed Liv LeBlanc. We missed Chris Smith. He had I believe his mom was sick or something. At the last minute, he had to bail. A couple of you guys are asking how my knee is. My knee's fine, guys. What's rough on my knee is standing on it all day long, teaching classes or doing JMPI all day long. It's the hydrostatic pressure. You understand? The walls of the veins in your feet are thicker than the walls of the veins in your upper body, simply because there's more pressure. Just being 4 feet higher or 4 feet lower, there's that much more pressure. So same thing, if I lay down or I sit or if I elevate my knee, I'm good. The shock, the everything, ride bikes, everything. I don't. My ortho surgeon said nothing dynamic. I'm like, okay, like what? And he said, no jumping jacks. So this was a couple weeks ago, I went in my recheck with him. And I'm like, Doc, I promise you I will not do jumping jacks. And he went, okay. And left out the part about jumping up 6 inches and out 36 inches and then letting gravity bring me down 1,200 feet. I left that part out. I had a great jump, guys. I had a great jump. Zipper88. If someone doesn't jump, do they get pushed out? No, actually, you're not in the military here. This group it's all volunteer. Kind of like the airborne guys were back in World War II. And this goes for all you guys. And you guys have heard me say it before. I usually pitch it twice a year because I go down there twice a year. Round Canopy Parachute Team does a basic airborne or refresher course for those of you that were in the military. They do a course twice a year, March and October. And you can go down there, rent parachutes from them, everything. All you need to bring is boots and long sleeve shirt and pants and a helmet. And actually, you don't need a helmet if you're going through airborne school. They provide you with a helmet. Get your own place to stay, meals, everything. But actually, your lunches are provided while you're there, and they do dinners every night. So just get yourself a breakfast. It's very turnkey. They do a great job teaching it, and I can't say enough about it. I did 25 years in the military. You guys know this, right? Halo jumping and everything else. Where's my halo jump? All right, guys, this is me with a halo parachute, oxygen mask, rucksack, all that stuff. And I was a halo jump master. 500-600 jumps, and I'm here to tell you I learned more about jumping and parachuting in the 6 days I was down there that first year with Nicholas, putting him through. They did a 1-day jump master refresher for me, and then we did a 5-day basic airborne course for my son and all the other people in his class. And I learned a lot. They run a very professional program, and not all jump groups do, but Round Canopy Parachute Team dash USA does. They're the best team that's out there. And here's where it really comes into play. They did not coordinate this thing. There are jump clubs, Round Canopy Parachute Team France, Round Canopy Parachute Team UK, Belgium, wherever. These teams are everywhere, but there's actually another team in France called Aero Legends, and Aero Legends are the ones that coordinated this 9-jump event. Coordinate all the airplanes, everything else, manifests, sold lift tickets, all this other stuff, printed T-shirts, all this great stuff. It was a total shit show. Total shit show. For months and months and months, for the last 6 months, Round Canopy Parachute Team USA has been asking questions, and they haven't been getting any answers from Aero Legends. And when they finally got over there, we basically had to take charge. When I showed up there, who's doing the Mako brief, who's doing refresher, who's doing manifest calls, who's writing down the manifests, it was all Round Canopy Parachute Team USA, our team. There were lots of other Americans there jumping. There were lots of other parachute groups there jumping, but everybody let Round Canopy Parachute Team USA run it. And it wasn't easy. Eric Lewis is his name, retired Army. I want to say he was a doctor or something like that. He busted his ass. Bill Markham, who's the president of Round Canopy Parachute, he was a colonel in the regular Army. John Hotstetler, CJ, these guys are, I think CJ's still active duty, but for a reserve SF group, I don't remember exactly. These guys put a lot of work into this. All I did was help out, and there's no way it would have gone off as smooth as it did without them, without a doubt. All right, so not too many questions. Right. But back to this question about if they get pushed out if you don't want to jump. If you panic and freeze in the door, we're gonna say go, and if you don't go, we're gonna say go. If you don't, we're gonna say go, and if that doesn't happen, we're gonna move you out of the way so that the next guy can go if there's time. If we haven't ran out of drop zone by then, and then. When they're done, you're a safe area one, hook your static line, you'll get moved to the front of the airplane so you're not blocking the next stick. It is what it is. I'm here to tell you, I've never seen anybody freeze. I've seen guys in the regular army. We had the supply sergeant from Bravo Company. He would be a no jump every once in a while. But me personally, I've never had anybody on my stick not jump. Everybody, you might have tears running down your face. You might be scared to death, but you do it. You do it. That's what you understand, guys. Courage is not the absence of fear. You need to be scared to jump. If you're not scared of jumping, you shouldn't be jumping, because when you're not scared, you get careless. You don't check your parachute. You don't check your straps and everything. You don't pay attention to the fine details. When you're scared, you make sure all the buckles are buckled correctly. You make sure the parachute is correct. You make sure everything is done correctly, because you're getting ready to have a planet thrown at you. So it's not the absence of fear. It needs to be done. It's a way to get to work, and we did it all in honor of the guys 80 years ago, and. Being out in the air, guys, jumping from the altitude that they did in the same places, understand them doing it in the dark and all the anti-aircraft fire coming up at them and everything, and jumping all the extra equipment. Yeah, man, that there's a reason why they call them the greatest generation. Pretty incredible, really is. Guys, I got a buddy named Ray Craic. He's one of you guys. He's one of the monkeys that hangs out in the chat room here. I'm sorry, I've been counseled, I'm not allowed to call you guys monkeys anymore. That is a derogatory statement. I'm now supposed to call you mammals. So Ray Craic is a mammal like you guys, and he's a patron forever. He's one of my original patrons back in the day. Him and his wife, she's a cute little Hawaiian thing. They all came to the original Patreon course, and we had a great time. They quickly became family members and everything. They're awesome. Anyways, he worked for Customs and Border Patrol, right? U.S. Border Patrol. Because we need those guys. We need them bad. And anyways, he got reassigned over to Hawaii. And he ends up rolling his Suburban, his work truck, I want to say like 6, 7, 12 times. And it cut he didn't lose his arm, but it cut the nerve in his arm. So it's there. It's got blood in it. But he doesn't have any use of it, and they're trying a lot of experimental surgeries and stuff. But anyways, long story short, the government doesn't care about you guys. If you haven't figured that out yet, it's not real. It's not just the VA. It's Big Brother. It's the government in general. So he's being medically retired, and a lot of that stuff he had to pay. He had to pay for himself. You know, and anyways, that is some good coffee right there. That is some good coffee. So anyways, I asked Ray Craic, he's supposed to be watching the live stream tonight. I've asked him to give me a call about 8 o'clock. So we're gonna put him on, and we're gonna let him give you guys an update on how he is doing. This one right here, without further ado, did Kyle Lamb jump with you, Carl? Yeah, he was actually on a different bird, but Kyle Lamb jumped also. He was actually on the commercial airliner flying home, from France to the U.S. He was in first class. He had 2 million miles, Delta miles, that he cashed in to get those tickets for him. And he put his son and his fiance back in the ghetto with me and my family. But anyways, Kyle's great people. I didn't recognize him. He was there. I didn't recognize because he'd shaved off that goatee and beard and mustache, and he had all the war paint, the Craic war paint on, and the helmet and everything. So I didn't see him I didn't see him till we got to the airport. And funny stuff. Wow, we had a great time coming to the airport to come home. So we always backwards plan, right? This is when this is our no later than we have to leave. We need to allow contingency time in case something happens. Well, guess what? Something happened. We'd been battling a bad tire on our French car. Why? Because it's French, which means it's limp. They have very limp tires, limp. And so we had one tire that already had 4 cans of Fix-A-Flat in it. And sure enough, we're on our way to the airport. Emery has a blowout. I don't mean like a blowout. I mean like a blowout. This thing's gone. So we call 911 in France, which is actually 112, by the way. It's not 911. They send out like 4 emergency response vehicles, and one of them's a flatbed, and of course they're union workers. So all the crews stand around and watch the one guy do it. We then have to bring that vehicle to a tire shop. In their defense, the guy at the tire shop replaced the tire very, very quickly. And we got to the airport with a little bit of time to spare, but not much. You got to go check bags. And I mentioned I had to fly with parachutes. You can't put a reserve and a main parachute in the same suitcase because they over the 50-pound limit. And the union at the Charles de Gaulle airport, they will not lift more than 50 pounds. So your bags have got to be below 50 pounds. Don't get me started. So anyways, we have 12 suitcases. And one suitcase per person is free. The second suitcase is, I want to say like 93 euros. Gets better. If you check a second suitcase, it's like 300 euros. For a second suitcase, which is technically your second paid one, your third suitcase. And then because they don't want people to fly with 3 suitcases, you understand you got 600 people on a plane, you quickly you'd max out the weight on the plane. Okay, no big deal. So they're all my suitcases, but I'll give one to my nephew, one to my niece, one to my wife. Well, my wife's bag, her free suitcase got checked, no problem. The other one that she tried to pay, it wouldn't take whatever. Anyways, we blow an entire hour getting her second bag, which is really my parachute, that suitcase, through check-in. And they were cool about it. They're like, yeah, hey, we're sorry for the delay. Didn't even charge her for it. We should have noticed. They didn't charge her for it because they tore up her original boarding pass and gave her a new boarding pass with that suitcase on it. But the suitcase she had already packed with the other boarding pass was now no longer manifested. So we got back to America. We got back to Atlanta, and I have 11 suitcases. I'm missing one. It just happens to have a $3,000 parachute in it. It gets better. So, going through security and customs and everything, we get to our gate, right? Kyle Lamb made it, by the way, because he was first class. He was one of the first ones off the plane. I'm literally second to last row. And anyways, we get there, and we've got 10 minutes before the plane takes off, but they close boarding 15 minutes prior. You cannot get on it. I'm like, don't say it like that. This is Atlanta. The door is closed. I'm not letting you on. So you got to go to the counter, get a new flight. Okay, well, all the rest of the flights for the next 24 hours are all already booked because they've screwed over lots of other people. So we went and got a rental. We actually got 2 rentals and drove from Atlanta. And so anyways, I really shouldn't be doing this live stream right now because my mind is very fogged from lack of sleep. But I love you guys. I haven't seen you for a while. I know I missed last week's live stream. Wanted to give you guys a bit of an update. So yeah, I'm gonna have Ray Craic call in here, and Ray, if you're watching, give me a call, and we'll chit chat with you a little bit. And while I'm waiting for Ray to call, guys, I got my next class because I'm planning. I have a private class on Saturday. I got to fly to that one too, and then fly back. But my next public class is our low light, no light class, which is in July. And it's at the Louisville Armory. I provide brand new PVS 14 night vision goggles for Ghost White Phosphor. Great nods. And the cool part is at the end of the course, you can give them back to me, and I give them back to AGM Global Vision. These things are made in Arizona. Or you can buy them at basically my price. And I'm not even allowed to say, I can't put it on the website what the price is because it is below whatever dealer level is that Amazon and Optics Planet are. They're guaranteed lowest prices, so they can say they offer lowest prices. I'm selling them for below that. That class is only half full, and I'm like, why is it only half full? I say it's half full. I've got 4 slots left for it out of 9. So I've got 5 full. I got 4 more slots, guys. And Donna, I'm like, man, that thing sold out. Like, I haven't been promoting it because I've had other things going on. That's my next class. So if you guys are interested in doing, this is actually the shirt from that class, low light, no light class. You get a shirt. But anyways, we're going to start off with weapon mounted lights, flashlights on pistols and rifles. That's the first morning. And then after that, like I said, it's a 2-day course. I do it at the Louisville Armory because I've been to night shooting classes where you got to show up at like dinner time. It don't get dark till 9-10 p.m. You shoot till midnight and you're tired the next night. And I'm like, that we only shot for 3 hours. Louisville Armory, you show up 8 o'clock in the morning, and as soon as I kill the lights on the live fire indoor range, it's cave dark. We have a great time, and we shoot for a little bit. We go back in the classroom. We talk about different techniques and stuff again, and then we go back to the range. And it's great that you can go back and forth like that. Lights on, lights off, lights on, lights off. Makes for a safe, great learning environment. And so anyways, we start the afternoon off with different kinds of night vision. We talk about digital and thermals and I squared, your Gen 1s, Gen 2s, Gen 3s, Gen 3 pluses. We talk about running 1 tube, 2 tubes, 4 tubes, blah, blah, blah. Running a monocular over one eye versus the other eye because there are advantages to one over the other. All right. But anyways, that course, I got Ray Craic. Hold on, Ray, you there? Hold on a second. All right, but anyways, that class, Ray, I'll be right with you, man. All right, that class, we get into doing night vision shooting, and then I've got a small shoot house there. I bring the UTM bolts and stuff. You guys will just be burning up my ammo. You pay for the ammo that you shoot there. But anyways, live fire, it's a great 2-day course, and I still have slots left for it. So if you want to sign up for it, go to tacticalrifleman.com, click on it, and you'll be good to go. Ray, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Hey, can you turn down your volume on your TV a little bit so they don't have to hear me talking twice?
Oh, okay. They're here.
You just mute your computer, knucklehead. That's why we love Ray.
Is that better?
Don't mute your phone, man. Just mute the computer. So how you doing, man? Did you just hang up on me? That's a knucklehead. You know, I was joking, Ray. You didn't have to hang up on me. Ray, you still there? Ray? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you're way out in Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
All right, so what time is it there? How many hours time change we got? Is it like 3 hours?
It's almost 1500 here.
Man. France is like 7 or 8 hours ahead of me here, and then you add, man, you're damn near other side of the planet. Funny stuff. So hey, man, give us an update. How are you doing, man? Number one, how are you holding up?
I mean, I'm holding up. Good as can. You know, a little bittersweet to sign off like this.
Yeah.
Through work, but you know, it is what it is.
You got any plans? What you're gonna do?
Yeah. So. On my things here in Hawaii for the next couple of months, and then up probably to Idaho, and then get my trucks worked on and the house maintained up there, and then pretty much free after that. Free spirit.
You'll come up with something, man. I know you will. You'll find. You just gotta pick a new direction. Yeah, I know guys that have. You know, I got a buddy, Schroeder, we call him Scooter. Scooter lost both his legs, had one of his arms blown up real bad. He didn't lose it, but it got tore up real bad. And he gets along, man. He gets along good. His wife that was getting ready to leave him didn't. She actually stuck by his side. So I'll give her kudos for that. And, yeah. But I got other buddies that, you know, they become public speakers, or they just find different outlets for things. So man, you're a winner, and I have no doubt, Ray, that you'll be fine. And if nothing else, man, this frees you up to come to Patreon in October, right?
It sure does. Yep.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Yep. I look forward to having you there, man. I do. I look forward to having you there. Guys, the first Patreon course we did, it was at Rock Castle Shooting Center, and Ray's a gun guy, by the way. Did I mention his little Hawaiian wife is not a gun girl? She's not. So, but he brought her to the course anyway. So we're out there. We're getting ready to shoot. And she's just sitting at the picnic table. Everybody else and their wives and stuff are out there getting ready to shoot. She's just sitting there. And I walk up to her and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She come on, let's go shoot. She said, "No, I'm not." I'm like, my ass, you know. Everybody. So you remember Ray? Didn't I give her like my little my Banshee 9mm? I gave her.
I started her out with my MP.
Yeah.
9mm, and you said that thing was horrible.
Yeah, dude. Why do husbands do that? They give their wives the worst gun possible. So anyway, Sandy, we end up hooking Sandy up with a decent gun, and she didn't want to admit it, but she actually started having fun. And once you realize that, you know, people weren't there to see who could be high shooter, and people weren't there to get trophies, we were just there to have fun and learn a little bit while we were doing it. We started having fun, and the cool part was Saturday night was the night shoot, the final night shoot at the Knob Creek machine gun shoot. They don't even do that anymore, guys, but you understand, the Knob Creek machine gun shoot, they started doing this thing like back in the 70s. I'd read about it in Soldier of Fortune magazine when I was a teenager. Biggest machine gun shoot on planet. They would shoot for 20 minutes and then 40 minutes ceasefire, and they would drive all the forklifts out there to put fires out and like bring more refrigerators and cars out there for people to shoot at, and barrels full of diesel, and so you could talk for 40 minutes, but then once they started shooting it, and they had miniguns and 240 machine guns. I think Glenn and Susan shot the M240, and like they had the ball turret out of the bottom of a B-17 bomber with the 2 machine guns in it, and anyway, so that was a great time, and I remember Sandy and Ray just having fun like the rest of us were having fun. And Ray, Ray and Sandy actually made me a kind of like a, what would you call it, like a yearbook you get at the end of high school. They made a little yearbook from that trip, and it sits on the shelf in my man room, and I flip through it every so often, and some of the pictures from the original Patreon course, they were magical. We had a great time, and I always try to outdo it every year. And for my patrons that are watching, this year is going to be just as awesome one because we've got Ray and Sandy coming. But I've got a bunch of new instructors that are going to be there. I got a guy named Jay Johnson. He was on my first A team. He is going to be doing land navigation. We're going to be doing map and compass, all that stuff, plotting routes, and then you're going to actually get out in the woods and do it. Yeah, we're still going to do night shooting with the nods and stuff. We're doing it in eastern Kentucky. Phil Wilson just signed up, I want to say a couple days ago, for his slot to come to Patreon. I've got a few other people that have signed up, but anyways, it's gonna be a great time. It'll be a great time. Yeah, Ray, reach out to me, man. I'll get you the specifics, and I'll make sure I get you down on the list.
Sweet. I will. Yeah, I learned some bad habits from you. Driving around with the nods on, headed to work, in the early mornings. Pretty fun stuff.
I like driving with nods. I do.
It's pretty fun. Yeah.
It's always a good time, man. Always a good time. All right. So how's Sandy and the kids doing?
Sandy's got the day off today, so she's working on. She bought a new car, so she's trying to get that sorted out. And then kids are doing great. Pups are running around, licking themselves. They're doing good.
Isn't that funny? That's what dogs do. All right, Ray. You got anything you want to share with the TR crowd? Anything at all?
Oh man, I just want to say, it's been awesome. Hope to see everybody soon, and this will be my last time watching from work, but I'll be watching civilian after this. So
yeah, I hope you keep watching. And dude, I wanna thank you for your service, and we look forward to seeing more of you, man. We do. All right, that's why I wanted to bring Ray on. I wanted to personally thank him in front of all you guys for his service. There's a lot of, you guys remember the Antifa riots and stuff. Yeah, you have no idea how many government operators got like permanent eye injuries from the green lasers all these punks had thrown, and their fireworks and all this other shit. And if it was up to me, I'd be shooting these guys right in the face. But it's not, and that's why I don't do the job. I couldn't do Ray's job. So anyways, Ray, thank you for your service, man. Sorry you got tore up. Part of playing the game. Yep. All right, brother, I'll let you go. I've got a few more things I got to take care of here, and thanks for calling in, man.
Will do, brother.
Yep, you take care. Yep, bye-bye.
Rules of engagement suck. Yes.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye-bye. All right, I had a couple more questions come in, guys. Sorry, I'm not staying here all night long. I'm not. All right, Juan J. Robles. Jump school in 69, I noticed in the Patreon video that the harness quick release on the parachute has changed along with the reserve handle on the top. When did it change? They're always looking for new stuff. If you were jumping the round dial of death, which basically you had to hit, turn, and that would pop everything at once, they did away with that because they actually had people doing collisions in the air and all their stuff letting go. They update the harnesses every so often. The parachutes, for example, the Army just switched to a different static line parachute. As far as that reserve, that's actually called a MERPS reserve, and it has got a spring-loaded pilot chute that shoots out like 20 feet, and it will get air. And anyways, that handle, they used to have a handle on the side. The original MERPS handle was on the side, but if that arm was incapacitated, it's hard to pull it with that other arm. So they put it on the top so that you could pull it with either hand. And but yeah, the parachutes, they update them from time to time. All right. Airborne school in 69. Woo. A surly barber. If the world was ending and you could pick any one firearm and ammo to help get you through it, what firearm would it be? I would go with because the whole planet is covered with 5.56. The U.S., you can go to most houses in the U.S. have got 223 ammo or 5.56. Every police station in the U.S. has got 223, 5.56. Every military unit, every reserve unit, every National Guard unit, every gun store, every sporting goods store has got 223 or 5.56. So I would go with a 5.56 gun. I would go with a 13.7 inch barrel with a pinned break, so it was 16 inches. I want it as short as possible, but I don't want it to be so short that I'm losing velocity and accuracy at distance. And I also don't want to mess around with tax stamps for the ATF. The ATF should be disbanded, but until they do that, definitely don't go shorter than 10.5 inches. All right. Depending on the situation where you're going to be, is where you would gauge your optics. I'm big on running like a 1X micro prism or a EOTech, maybe with a magnifier if I'm going to be out in a rural area. But if I was going to, let's say I was going across Oklahoma or Kansas, I'd run a low power variable optic. Right? But other than that, I would go with an EOTech or 1X micro prism. Of course, I'd have my flashlight on it with the IR head on it because I pretty well don't go anywhere without nods. I will at least have a PVS 14 with me. For example, France. Right. Yeah. So 5.56 gun. I like a piston because it allows me to not have to worry about cleaning the gun. And because the variable gas block on the piston with a suppressor, without a suppressor, the gun just runs reliably. And that's my rifle, guys. Some of you have you've been asking, hey, when's the Tr1 A1 coming out? It is in town. I just got home today. Give me a couple of days. I'm gonna go pick it up. Next live stream, I will show you. It'll be on the wall. But I have got to film a video for the Tr1 A1. And it has everything that I just mentioned, guys. It has a good jeweled trigger that you can dry fire with. It's got a good 3-prong surefire muzzle brake on it, a flash hider. It's called the War Comp, and it's a good. It'll easily take my surefire suppressor and all that stuff. It's a good gun. It's got our TO logo on it, right? But yeah, I've put a lot of work into this gun, and yeah, good question. Let's see. I've got more questions coming in. But my reason for saying that is not just because I'm pimping my gun, guys, is because he specifically mentions end of the world. Shit hits the fan situation, and you want small and compact so that you can fight. You know, if you understand, the Nike defense is often the best defense. If you've got 20 people that want your shit, you're not going to win that fight. You've got to haul ass. So you need to be able to travel light. So you need a gun that is light, but you don't want to just have a Derringer with 2 shots. You still need to be able to run a volume of ammo. And so yeah, there's a lot of people that have given a lot of thought to this. All right, Phil Wilson, Phil W, back in the U.S. He threw down 20 bones. Phil, I miss you, buddy. Phil W is another one of our patrons. He just wrapped up a big safari out in Africa, and he's showing me all these animals, pictures that he shot, and I'm jealous as hell. I hope you get to mount them, and right, because he's got some nice trophy animals, guys. But you understand the price of a safari is sometimes less than the price of the taxidermy to get like a white rhino or something like that stuffed. So yeah, Phil, sometimes pictures are good enough, man. Sometimes pictures are good enough. If I could mount Mahdi Militia, I'd give up deer hunting. Let's just put it that way. Guys, I want you to keep Emery in your prayers. Emery is on his way home. He flew home with me. We had a great time. But Emery is packing his kit, and Emery's got to go to work. And we're not getting into the details because this is the open internet. But if you guys know Emery, you know what Emery's getting ready to go do. So keep Emery in your prayers. Just because he does not believe in God does not mean that God does not believe in Emery. Emery does God's work. He does. God loves snipers. He does. All right. God loves Carl Erickson. All right. Phil, it's great to have you back in the U.S. It really is. Zipper88 is back. Is there any functional glasses that will protect you from laser eye burn? Yeah, actually, I was issued a set in Desert Storm, believe it or not. We had these, they look like gargoyles. You guys remember the original Terminator movie? Arnold Schwarzenegger wore these sunglasses that were called gargoyles, and they were actually safety glasses. You could shoot them with a .22 caliber air rifle, and it would not ruin the glasses. What I mean by that is if you had normal safety glasses and you shot them, glass, for example, will stop a .22 caliber air rifle, but when you hit the front, it breaks a little chip of glass off the back that goes into your eye. That would still be bad, right? So those gargoyles were great safety glasses. Big Army didn't want to pay Gargoyle. Didn't want to pay them. So Big Army copied them, went with a different brand, generic. They came with fancy hard cases and a clear set, a dark set, and then they had a clip-on green lens that was made for blocking, diffracting the laser from a laser rangefinder. Nobody used them simply because they don't. They're not good glasses for you to see through. You can make glasses that will stop a handheld laser rangefinder, but they will not stop the laser rangefinder from a M1 Abrams tank. You could make glasses that would stop the laser rangefinder on an M1 Abrams tank, but that would not block the laser rangefinder from some other things. Like, you understand, there are lasers that get exponentially stronger and stronger and stronger, and that energy, it's kind of like body armor, you know. Can you make body armor that will stop a 50 cal round? Yeah, you can, but nobody would wear it. Nobody would wear it. It's too heavy. So are there glasses out there that will stop a laser rangefinder? Yes. Nobody wears them. Now, that said, I have a buddy that was, not really a buddy, I don't even remember his name, but we had a guy in my first SF company that could only see with one eye. His other eye, he could see perfect around the edges, but he had a big blind spot right in the middle in one eye. His other eye was perfectly fine, and that's because when he was in Desert Storm, he was out there with a bunch of his other SF guys, and an M1 Abrams tank wanted to know how far away they were, and the main gun, the guy lased him and hit him right in the eye, and he's got a huge blind spot middle of his eye. Cannot repair it. Nothing you can do about it. So I bet you in the bottom of his rucksack he had a set of those glasses. But nobody wore them. Don't that suck? Part of playing the game, guys. Better than the M1 Abrams tank shooting them with the 120 smoothbore. So, I mean, it's all how you look. The Gustache 2531 threw down 10 bones. Sir, do you have any info on when A American's new home series book is coming out? Hearing Emery's Jewish-Russian accent on Audible is worth the price alone. Sounds like a James Bond villain, LOL. Yeah, guys, we just saw Chris Weatherman. That's who Angry American is. That's his author name, his book name, but his real name is Chris Weatherman. We saw Chris Weatherman at the Mountain Readiness Expo in North Carolina in May, and he was currently working on the book. And we talked a lot, like, dude, are me and Emery still in it? He said, yes, you guys are still in it. He's like, Chad dies in this book, but you and Emery make it through the end of the book. I'm like, okay, cool. Right. I told him, hey, when you do the Audible, you've got to get the same narrator that you did. And he said, yes, I completely understand. He understands that, because guys, if you haven't read Chris's books, you got to do them on Audible. And when you get I want to say book 11, when you get to book 11, he's got a character named Emery Morgenstern. That's Emery. He's got a character named Carl Erickson. I'm like, at least give me a cool name, you know. But anyways, he made us characters in his book. Now, so like, he's got a couple other friends that he's made characters, but he's at least changes their names. He just put our names right out there. Emery Morgenstern, Carl Erickson, and funny stuff. But, yeah, Gustache ain't joking. The narrator, I guess, has like a Russian background or whatever. When he went to narrate the parts of Emery talking, you can hear how big that Jewish nose is. The guy sounds more Jewish than Emery does. You know, it's hilarious. It really is hilarious. The guy doesn't sound like me at all. But Emery's character came out awesome. Really, really did. All right, guys, I got a couple more coming in. All right, Ray Craic texted me. Yeah, Ray, reach out to me tomorrow when you have time, okay? I want to talk to you about Patreon course. All right, I actually got a text from my wife and my other son, Michael, and his wife, Bridget. And anyways, long story there. Good stuff. All right, guys. Next week, I'm hoping to have Steve Holland back on. Guys, I didn't know for sure we were going to even do this tonight. I had no idea I was going to be back. Oh, guys, don't worry about Chad. Chris said he was going to kill Chad in book 12, and he didn't kill Chad in book 12. Chad will live forever. Guys, we love Chad. We do. Chad just doesn't... Chad... And we're not going to get into it. Chad's good people. He is. You know he is. That is some good coffee, guys. Good coffee. You know what would make this better? What do you think? some Heraclitus bourbon. Right? Notice it's got the TR logo on there. Ain't that cool? They actually sent me this. And I have a whole barrel. I bought the barrel, by the way. The empty wooden barrel after they bottle all of it. They're in the middle of bottling it right now as we speak. But right before we left, this bottle showed up. This is my test bottle. And this stuff is strong. Because it's barrel strength. You know when you buy, what I mean by that is you make 50 barrels of bourbon. After you've aged them 5 years, they're all going to be like 116, 117, 119, 114, 1 proof. They're not all going to be the same. So when Jim Beam and Jack Daniels and all these other companies, when they sell their bourbon, they have a set proof it has to be in the bottle, right? So it's normally like 90 proof or 80 proof. Guys, I'm not joking. This one is proof 119.51. All right? I'm sorry, 0.61. 119. Remember I mentioned Jim Beam's like 90 proof, right? What they do is the Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, everybody, they water it down to get it to that correct number. Some barrels, they got to water it down more than others. What Heraclitus did, this company, you guys know American Gun Chick, Brickell Clark, right? Her and her husband started Heraclitus Bourbon, right? And it's cool. But what they did was they're like, you know, we're doing barrel strength. So anyways, if you guys buy these things, and the bottles, this is a one of a kind bottle they engraved for me. It does come in a nice bottle that will have the Tactical Rifleman on the neck of it and everything. It'll be from my bottle and from my barrel, and then when the barrel's empty after they've bottled everything, I pay the $200 for the actual wooden barrel. I'll have it made in something here for the man room or something, right? It's strong, so understand it's going to be stronger than what you're used to. So what you do is put it on ice and let it sit for 5-10 minutes, and as the ice starts to melt a little bit, it takes the burn off, and then you'll actually see that this stuff has got you'll when you get past the burn. When you get past the burn, you'll see that it's got all the great little flavors of it. Indeed. Heraclitus, guys, where does that name come from? All right, Heraclitus. I call it Heraclitus also. Heraclitus. It's Heraclitus. However you pronounce it, really doesn't matter. But he is. Back Caesar or Plato, I don't remember. He was a great philosopher back in the day, famous for a bunch of different sayings. But one of his saying was he was talking about men in battle, talking about military units, the phalanx and everything, right? Running a unit against a unit, they would do spears and shields, but you would have the front row with the shields interlocked. That is your phalanx, all right? And he came up with a saying, and I actually have it up on the wall right there. Out of every 100 men, 10 should not even be there. 80 are just targets. 9 are the real fighters, and we are lucky to have them, for they make the battle. But the one is a warrior, and he will bring the others back. All right, it's kind of a cool saying, right? But the reality is that rings true across modern military, but it also rings true across your firefighters, your law enforcement, people in corporate America. You've got a lot of people in a military unit. You get your company infantry guys. There's 10 people there that are not. They're never going to pull the trigger. They're not. That's okay. I've looked down in the Humvee behind the minigun, and there was an Army soldier cowering in the floorboards in the back seat of the Humvee. All right, I was not a Green Beret. He was not. He was a support kid, but he was talking all kinds of shit during the rehearsal. He never even got out of the vehicle until the sergeant major opened the door. This after sector secure, by the way. And the sergeant major brought him out and brought him into the building. Right. But anyways, their whole thing for doing this bourbon is here's to the 9s and the 1s. You know, it's a big deal, right? Celebrate those warriors. So what they did, they offered to me. They're like, "Hey, do you want to do a barrel?" And I said, "Yeah, I believe in what you're doing. Let's support the 9s and the 1s." So that's what they're doing. They've Tactical Rifleman and a couple other social media people that they like. They've got us a barrel, a couple other people barrels, and it's to honor, you know, the people that protect America, necessary to serve and protect America. That's the truth of it. And you guys know I'm big on. So why do I still teach? I teach because there's a lot of concerned citizens out there that I want to make into capable citizens so that you guys can become the 9s and at least strive to be one of the 9s. All right. If you were a 1, you'd already be down that path. You cannot choose to be a 1. It chooses you. All right. But even if you're just part of the 80, but you're striving to be one of the 9, you understand you're so much better than everybody to your left and right, guys. So anyways, I thought it was pretty cool that they did that. The bourbon is a 5-year-old Kentucky bourbon that's bottled right here at the Bardstown Bourbon Company. And I'm not joking, it's 116 proof. This stuff is rough. It's awesome. All right. If you want to get bottles, you can go to the first 100 bottles are already reserved. You're only going to get about 100 and I think they said it's like 100, 175, 150 to 200 bottles per barrel, and so we'll say 175 rough, right? And the first 100 bottles are already reserved for the pre-release. And if you want to get your reservations for that, again, priority goes to patrons first. But you guys can go to heraclitusbourbon.com. There's actually a special email that they made. Maybe Donut has got it and he can put it up in the chat. I sent it to them a couple weeks ago. I don't remember what it is. But anyways, they're limiting it to 2 bottles per person. I'm hoping a couple patrons will bring. I said we'd let them know next stream. Email doesn't work. Throws up an error message. Okay. All right. I just got told that email message doesn't. That email doesn't work. And I will bounce it off of Brickell Clark and see if I can get her to fix it for us, so you guys can get those orders in. All right. Check your phone, Carl. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, guys. You heard my phone vibrate. That was her. She calls me for like 2 seconds to basically make it jump, and then I read my phone. So that's how she does it. All right. That's fine. I appreciate it. That's Ray Craic texting me. I'll read that one later. Guys, I know we're only an hour and a half into this. I haven't slept in 2 days. I didn't do much sleeping while I was over there. The cool part was I didn't have to drive that much. And who's going to give me a DUI while I'm wearing a World War II uniform during D-Day in Normandy, France? There's a lot of partying going on, guys. We had a great time. I do not condone drinking and driving. I don't, but most of the time I didn't have to drive, and I did a lot of I drank a lot in France, guys. A lot. Ate a lot of food. Drank my body weight in shots of espresso, 2 shots at a time. I think that was every sentence I said. I'll take a double espresso. Carl, did you bring your parachute? Yes, I brought my parachute, and I'll have a double espresso. Carl, where are we going for lunch? We're going to go somewhere where I can get a double espresso. Carl, do you have any duct tape? I do. Could you go get me a double espresso? I think that was basically every sentence I said over there. I drank a lot of espresso, guys. It's all good. It's all good. Anyways, more to follow on the bourbon. More to follow on the new coveted Tr1 rifle. I'm going back down to ATS Tactical Gear. I got to get their website set up so we can start selling the TR gun belts, TR slings, the TR EDC med kits. We're going to start selling them again. Because you'll notice I only have one medical class on the calendar this year, September. And that's with Nick Gaines teaching that one because Travis Hall is busy this entire year. He's like, Carl, I can't teach this year. Roger that. So anyways, I'm going to put, because I normally just sell them at classes, I'm going to open them up. So if you guys want to buy TR med kits, they're going to be going up for sale soon. Guys, that's what was in my carry-on, my little Eurotrash one shoulder bag. It's what my wife had. It's what my son had. It's what Emery had. It's what's on Emery's gun belt. It's what's on Randy's gun belt. They're good med kits. They're vacuum sealed. TSA does not mess with them at all. They're great. They are great to have indeed. All right, so again, guys, you want to check out classes, go to tacticalrifleman.com. I want to thank Venture Surplus again for sponsoring tonight. I want to thank you guys for putting up with me being gone, and I want to thank all my patrons again for helping us keep this channel alive. I know everybody wants their free videos on YouTube. That's fine, but when you've been demonetized like we have, I can't pay for the film crew. I really can't. So my patrons, you guys are the ones that are helping me keep this alive. My goal, guys, like I said, I have one class in, I understand I got one class this week, but one class, low light, no light, the entire summer, not counting high risk travel. Low light, no light in July. And after that, my next class not till September. So I'm looking forward to resting my knee and getting my Jeep ready to go with Toby and Karen to Moab, Utah again in September. Whole month, 18 days in September. That's going to be a great trip. Anyways, but I got a lot of filming to do, guys. A lot of filming. A lot of videos coming up for you guys. And I got a lot to do, and it starts tomorrow. So anyways, we're going to tap out tonight, guys. I appreciate everybody hanging. I want to thank my moderators for moderating. Donut, JT, Susan, y'all are awesome. Thank you for helping me get through tonight. Ray, thanks for calling in. For all my patrons and supporters out there that gave to the PayPal to help pay for this trip, hey, thank you, and I'll reach out to each and all of y'all down the road here later this week. Oh. I'll tell you what, guys. Let's do this again next Tuesday. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. I'm wore out, and what do you think? This is the part where I would say, Steve, do you have parting words of wisdom? And Steve would say, no, I don't, Carl. I don't have any parting words of wisdom. Me neither. Right? It was a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. It really was. And I'm glad me and my son got to go do it. I'm glad we got to bring Emery with us. And just having David, Ashley, and Jordan Carlson there, Fred Maria, all the family members and everything, Kyle Lamb. It was really awesome. It really was. So anyways, I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Y'all take care and shoot straight.
Coming right there.